So everything's recording. We're good to go whenever.
Good to go. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to number 4 of Idle Talk. We have a special guest with us tonight. So the man behind the scenes who jumped on board, got behind us when we basically pitched the idea of having a burnout sort of focused podcast, which is really, really good. Someone who threw all of his support behind us, and he's our main sponsor, Ryan Cobb. So definitely
Thanks,
a big jump to jump in behind something that's hasn't been tried before, or you didn't really know if it's going to work or not, but he is gracious enough to give us full support, so which has been great. We're going to dive into sort of Ryan's life and what he was doing before, who he is now, and then how he got into being the massive promoter that he is, and all the pies he has his fingers in. I guess we'll start with that. I guess we'll just start with what you're doing. I'd like to know personally too what you're doing before, like sort of what you are now.
Yep.
I believe you're in like the sort of mining sector for a while, and then sort of you've segued from there into like what you are now. So
well, I've done a lot of things over the years. I've done everything from truck driving, both local and long distance. I've done heavy machinery, earth moving, front end loaders, excavators, that kind of thing. I've done general labour handing. I've been a dishy at a restaurant. I've been a pizza maker at Pizza Hut. Done all the things. My most recent job before I started High Octane was I was a water and wastewater technician, working out in, as you said, out in the mines, servicing drill rigs, mining camps, all different types of remote commercial places, stuff like that. So I did that for the better part of 9 years.
9 years. And then so did that for a while, and then eventually you've started like hustling obviously in the background, or like days off, like trying to get it to a point where you could swap.
So about 9 years ago now, I sort of basically joined a car club, and one of the things that this car club did was they went out and did like happy lap sessions out of Queensland Raceway, and I've always had a bit of an entrepreneurial streak in me, and sort of during the whole event and then after it, I was sort of sitting there going, why are all these people paying this guy to come to this event? Well, surely I can create something that like I can build an event that people can come to, and went to the general manager after the event of the track and said, how do I get into this? And like just so happens the timing was perfect, and they were looking for another promoter at the time, so there and then shook my hand and said, we'll give you a go. So so it was right place, right time, 100%.
Yep.
Were you doing because you do the photography and that sort of side of things as well, were you doing that before that, or did that come after?
It came after. So everything that we've built, which obviously we'll sort of go through tonight, it all started out of necessity. The only thing that didn't start out of necessity was the event business. That started out of a sort of something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do event promotion of some sort, whether it be with motorsport or music events like festivals and stuff like that. I've always wanted to do events. I've always been good at organising events, parties, stuff like that. So a bit of a amateur Van Wilder, if you will. So just without the level of cool added to it. So when the event started, it's incredibly difficult to have a photographer come and photograph cars at 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning. So once again, I thought, this can't really be too hard. So I bought a cheap camera and started taking photos of cars. And apparently I was doing it right because everyone was telling me how awesome the photos were. And
so did you do any training for the camera side of things?
Not really. Just sort of the only training I did was basically take 1,000 photos, but all with different settings. Take note of what settings I use, and then sort of apply them to. So if it was a dark night sort of thing, I'd find what setting would work best with that, and then I'd fine tune that setting to make it work properly.
So but never
any formal training.
So that was the photography side of it. And then you started hiring photographers, and like when you sort of stepped away a little bit.
So Yes. When we hired our photographers, I was also still doing it. Okay. At that point, I moved on to videography because I saw a need for... Everyone was either a photographer or a videographer at these events. There was no one out there that was doing both. Yeah. So we sort of decided that we'd try to be like the all-in-one team and to have photography and videography. And we started getting a lot of contacts with events and like major events like Northern Nats and Brasher Nats. We were doing Summer Nats for a while there as well. But yeah, Tropical Meltdown as well. That Tropical Meltdown was the first event to really give us a go. It was purely because we had both photography and videography services in one. They didn't have to hire someone from here and someone from there. We were doing both of it for them.
So you hire your company and you oversaw all of it. Yeah,
correct.
Because from an entrant, like it's wicked getting a good photo of your car.
Yeah,
100%.
If you can show me a video of my car, like that's the next step. That like you said, not too many people were doing. Like, you can go to any event and you'll get someone will have like a group of 20 shots or whatever of your car.
Yeah.
And you're like, I like that one. I'll use that for social media or whatever. But if
Correct.
you can have a little grab of yours cruising down the straight or doing something like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely like a niche market that I think not too many people
Yeah.
sort of get that for sure.
Yeah, so it sort of delved. Like, we ended up putting a photographer on. He was an old friend from back when we were cruising around Sunshine Coast. Brought him on board and sort of went up to all these events and were doing them. And then we sort of realised that we needed another photographer to capture primarily burnout events. We needed another photographer to catch the other side of the burnout events. So we hired another photographer, and that was going really well there for a bit. And I was the guy running around with the video camera, but I was also trying to do GoPros on cars and everything as well.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't working because you'd miss half the burnouts with the handheld camera because you were trying to attach a GoPro to the next car.
Yeah.
So we hired a videographer to basically stand pad side all day, and
a whole lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one was actually really easy because I was in the group of three of us. There was always this one guy that was with us just for the sake of coming and enjoying the event. So when we offered for him to basically stand pad side and with a camera in his hand, he jumped at the opportunity.
Yeah,
So.
which is best seat in the house, really.
Yeah.
You're working, but you get to film a whole bloody skid show. It's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, he
Definitely.
did jump on Facebook once and said that it's a tough gig and that it's really hard, and how would anyone else like to stand pad side, and basically trying to make it sound like a hard job, and he got absolutely shit on by everyone as a result. So he quickly learnt that it was more of an enjoyable job than it was a chore. So
Yep.
So that was the photography side, sort of like where you got started.
Yeah.
And then you were. So what came first, like Octane Apparel or the shirts 24/7? Will they sort of go hand in hand?
So they went hand in hand. Octane Apparel, let me just get this right. Octane Apparel came just before the shirts business. We were doing shirts before the shirt business, but it wasn't Octane Apparel at the time. It was just our branded high octane shirt sort of thing. We did a couple of designs for them to see if they'd sell or not. And then we sort of started the shirt business up when we got serious about like actually creating a proper clothing brand.
Now it's. I think, I don't know. I could probably safely say most people around the country probably use you. Or, I mean, you know where you send them to, but
we've definitely got our fair share of burnout competitors using our products.
Nice.
But you're also not like you don't just do burnout events. Like I know you make shirts for businesses all over the place. Like
correct, we do everything from like sports teams and corporate, everything like that. So
which is So, and what year did you go, all right, I can leave what I'm doing over here and I can go, like, this would be my
That's a big question, eh?
Yeah.
Because
Like,
going from
obviously you hustled for a while.
good, solid income, and
Yeah.
then you're trying to build shit on the side,
Yeah.
and trying to do both, which obviously you can't do forever.
Can't do both.
Yeah.
You've got a family, you've got, like, your time off, and then you've you've also got the safety net of, like, you're earning good money in, like, within the mining industry, and you're going to go, I'm going to back myself and throw all my fucking eggs in this basket, which is a massive call.
Correct.
Like, it's ballsy. But at some point, you've got to do it.
Yeah.
Or everything else stops and you just keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Which you obviously didn't want to do.
So I was well and truly working in the mining industry, doing all the camp maintenance and drill rig maintenance with the water treatment company at the time, and it got to the point where I was away 21 days a month, so I was only really home 8-9 days a month, depending on what month it was and everything. I'd be doing anywhere between 10 to 14 hour days away on site, and mostly 14 hours a day. And then once you sort of get back to camp, you have your shower, you have a feed, I'd then spend probably 6 to 7 hours of the night time doing my own business stuff. So
Yeah,
with the
wow.
shirts, I'd either be organising events with the event business, or I'd be responding to customer inquiries, doing design mock-ups or approvals or invoicing and everything like that until 1,
you were
2, 3
hustling.
o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But, and I love her to death for it, my wife was the one at home doing all of the printing for the same amount of time that I was.
Yeah.
She'd
Oh.
start work at 6 o'clock in the morning, she'd finish at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, come straight home, have a quick shower, have a feed, and then she'd print through till 1 o'clock in the morning. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So every night,
wow.
like at least 6 nights a week, 6 days a week. So,
Yeah.
And how long were you doing that setup for?
we did that for probably a solid 2 years before we
Oh.
said that it's
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
So-
So you're both kind of burning the wick at both ends.
Yep.
Until it got to the point where you're like, right, this
Yep.
can be our livelihood from now on.
Yep.
Let's go and
2
do it.
Yeah.
years.
So I
So did
hand-
Amanda finish, like, does she doesn't still work what she was doing before? Like,
Yeah, she still does.
Oh, so she still
Yep.
has, like, her job that she was doing
Yeah,
before. Yeah,
she's
wow.
scaled back to a couple of days a week
Yeah.
at that job, and then she works
Like
in the print shop with me 3 days a week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we made that decision back in March 2021 that was it. It's time. I gave my work a couple of months' notice, and so that they could find a replacement, which they didn't. And then by May, mid-May, I finally quit. But then obviously because they didn't find a replacement in time, I ended up doing another month for the job anyway. So so it was pretty much right before Brash, and that's when I finally started doing it for ourselves full time. So,
Yeah. And then, so then you focused on, like running sort of Octane Apparel shirt 24/7, the photography side
Yep.
of it.
Yep.
And then you moved into sponsorship sort of as well before you kicked off your own event? Or you're doing Morning Mayhem and stuff as well, hey?
Yeah,
Like,
so we were doing, at that time, we were doing Morning Mayhem, and I think we just started doing Fridays around that time. We
Yeah, okay.
there was
Just,
maybe one
yeah.
or two events in at that point.
Yeah.
So it was very much still in its infancy.
Yep.
Since then, we've negotiated with QR to bring burnouts back to Queensland Raceway. So we do burnouts there now as well, as you guys all know and
Yep.
enjoy. We also do a number of theme day style of events, such as like All GM Day.
Seen that, yeah.
Yeah.
Next year, we've locked in a theme day for in January for like a Australia Day theme day. So we've got that happening.
Yeah, okay.
We're hoping to get a Chrome Bar day locked in up there as well. So we've got a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
We've got a lot of stuff happening.
Man, I don't have chrome bars.
Well, that
I mean, I can paint them chrome if that works, but
that
they're
one,
fucking...
you'll actually be fine, because that one we're not doing. It has to be Chrome Bar. It's going to be a 30-year-old,
Yeah.
like 30 years old.
Yeah,
model, so
yeah.
there will be plastic bumper cars
Yeah.
in there as well. So
Yeah, they
it'll just be a
Well,
continuous.
30 years
rolling.
old, man. You could just about enter a VN in that. What's the
You
VN?
could.
93?
Yep, 91, 90.
Or 93?
Yep.
91, yeah.
So VN, and maybe just starting on VP, maybe. So
Yeah,
so
okay.
Damn.
yeah.
There
So-
you go.
yeah. So we've got a
yeah.
lot of things on the go.
Yep.
Next year, I think we've got about 24 events locked in at Queensland Raceway at this point.
Wow. 24 events. Shit.
And we've got looking at a few up at Lakeside as well. So so we've got a lot of stuff planned for next year, which will obviously start being released over the next month or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So now, like you sponsored a few events. You've obviously travelled to like Tropical Meltdown, Northern Nats,
Yep.
which is more so. So up north was just your shirts 24/7, and the photography side of it.
Up north was Octane Apparel and the photography.
And- yeah.
We sort of have the trade stand up at most events we go to.
So it is, Octane Apparel.
Yeah, we
not
offered
the
our
shirts,
photography
24
to them
yeah,
in exchange
yep.
for photography service. Offered our photography services to them in exchange for a trade stand space that we could then sell
Yep.
products to cover our costs for the travel and everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which
Yep,
is
yep.
and obviously like everyone sees your work, and everyone sees it on social media, so they know the quality that you have, and
Yep.
and everything. So
yeah.
definitely sort of helps. So now Fridays is like your baby, I guess. You'd say, like
It's our flagship event,
Yeah.
So it's the one we definitely need to put out the most of our time and effort into. And each
Yep.
event's bigger than the last and better than the last.
definitely.
Yep.
I'm very critical on how my events are run, so if I find even the slightest thing that I'm not happy with, I will just grind on that until I'm happy with it, no matter what it takes. So,
Okay.
and Fridays has definitely been that event to really
Yeah.
test that.
I think the way, for me personally, I think the layout and the platform, like it's
Yeah.
perfect. I fucking run out of time.
definitely.
It is.
So I run out of things to do. Like,
It is hands down the best one day event.
Yes.
Well, coming up, 2-day event,
yeah.
which we are really looking for.
Oh.
I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
I know everyone else is, but
Already
Yeah.
playing.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
gonna have to-
Camping, it's like old school, like how I got into it, like,
Yeah.
8 to 10 years ago, going to Power Cruise back when it was,
Good.
Power Cruise.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I just can't wait. It's,
yeah, camping and shit like that, it makes a massive difference.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
all-
100%.
But as a one day event, I agree. It's one of the best. Like, it's different. Like, Brashnats is, like, a lot of people say Brashnats is the best one day skid comp event, but it's a skid comp
I agree
event.
with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and it is. I think it holds the benchmark
Yeah.
as burnout comps go for like a one day hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Fridays isn't just a burnout comp. Like, it's
It's
more
the track
so
time.
cruising
That's
and
what-
track time. It's a small part of it is actually the burnout comp.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a great one day event as a whole event.
Oh, for
Like,
everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
power skids. It's
got everything.
Racing, like you're
It really
cruising.
does.
Even the start of like your family cruising at the start, which is good. Like
Yeah.
you can just take young kids and stuff out, and there's no like dickhead shit going on. It's just you're just driving around.
Yeah.
Or you can
Save all the
you
shit.
can take your blown Commodore out for a test lap because you
Yeah.
only just built it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Today.
Yeah, today. Yeah, yeah. The day before,
You wouldn't do something like that, would you, Kieran?
the day before the event, it gets
Leave it to the
running.
last minute.
Yeah.
We were just putting water in the radiator out in the street like
Yeah,
an hour ago.
yeah.
Nothing like last minute preparation.
I know,
mate.
Yeah. And it's not,
Always.
it's not like we haven't known it's coming from fucking ages either.
Yeah,
We
no,
just
no,
got to the last. Like this week's been a crunch for sure for that thing.
Yeah.
But it is, it is fucking what we do. But,
Yeah.
and we're good at it now.
Yeah.
So what you're saying was like, you find something about your event, you might not be happy with it, or whatever, and you'll grind at it. Are you happy with like how your event is now? Like, is there anything you want to change, or anything that you like that you see like happening differently to what it is now? Or do
so
you like are you happy with it?
the last two events that we've run, so Friday 9, Friday 10, have been the first two events that I've actually overall enjoyed. Not due to the fact that there's been things happening from entrants or spectators that have made it unenjoyable. I'm just very critical of everything I do. My wife calls me a perfectionist. I disagree. But I want to have the ultimate experience for everyone. So that's why we don't release our timetable until the week of the event, so that we can work out just how many entrants we've got. So if we only have enough entrants for 2 groups, then there's no point in having a third group in there, which just gives everyone an extra hour of track time per day. So we,
right.
we could easily turn around and just go, yep, 3 groups every time, 50 cars per group or whatever. But if we can fit 75 or 80 cars into per group into 2 groups, then that means more track time for everyone. My sole purpose of this event, it's not about the event's not about egos or having the best car there or having the most money or anything. My event is purely about giving people like what they pay for, giving them the absolute most track time they can and the most variety in what they can enter. So like other events out there, like there's roll racing, like you get a lot of track time with that, but it's just roll racing. Burnouts, like our events, we guarantee everyone a minimum of 2 burnouts, but it's just burnouts. Whereas with this, we've got our drift playground open all day, so anyone who's into drifting can come along and just shred tyres until their heart's content.
I'm not into it, but I gave it a crack. So I can kick off.
I think you shredded the tyres a little bit too much.
You got red flagged.
Not my fault. Drifters aren't used to that much smoke.
Yeah.
But
But
I messaged you actually, and I was like, no, I think I come and saw you, and I was like, hey, dude, I'm sorry if I caused a ruckus or anything. And you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was like, oh, young Ryan red flagged me and fucking sent me home. And you're like, oh, he's doing his job. I'm like, yeah, well, fuck.
Well, normally,
I was just having fun, but
to put it in perspective, normally when we have our on-track burnout demos, the smoke goes towards the tower from the main track. Your burnout / drift was the first time the smoke went from the other side of the track into the control tower.
yeah,
So
because I actually did hear Beanie be like, "Oh, Pink is over there. Like, that's a bit different." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, my bad." And young Ryan was like, "Yeah, he did his job like very well. He red flagged me. He's like, dude, you can't do that sort of shit. Like, it's way too much." I was like, "Fuck."
yeah. So
But it was like, yeah, I was just over there having fun, and yeah, it is what it is.
yeah.
I just got to
But
quickly say before you keep going, you could fully just tell. I was watching you speak just basically in the last like 3 minutes, and you could fully tell the passion was like coming out of you.
Yeah.
You just fully changed. You were like leaning forward. You're like, our events are fucking this and that. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit, man.
You can't do things half-assed. If you're going to do it, my motto in life is do it once, do it right. Don't fuck around, don't half-ass things. I apply that logic to everything I do. With my house, I do not like I will renovate that until I'm 100% happy with it. My events, I do not give up until I'm 100% happy with it. My kids, I've only got one young fellow at the moment, but I try to give him the best life I can. And it just, if you apply that to everything, then you're never really going to waste a moment in your life, because you've given everything 110%.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and no one can ever criticise you for not doing the best you can.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So is Fridays at a point where you're starting to like enjoy the event more as like not a spectator, because you are the promoter, but like are you getting to watch more of it and enjoy it more, or are you still running around like a headless chook, like still like putting out little fires? Not that there's like little fires, but you know what I mean, like are you still overseeing everything and you're just constantly busy, or you're actually starting to like soak it in, and is that why they're becoming more enjoyable?
I'm definitely still running around like a headless chook, but I'm able to like run around a little slower, because it's taken, like, tomorrow's our 11th Friday event. We've now got an absolutely killer crew behind us. Like all the guys and girls that run our events, they all know exactly what they need to do. So from the moment the gates open in the morning until the moment the gates open at night, they know exactly what they need to do. If once the event's over, I don't need to tell anyone, hey, we need to go pick up the trash from the spectator hill or anything like that. They just know what needs to be done, and they're doing it before I even need to like question them about it. So like it's one thing to say that you organise great events. It's another thing to have the crew behind you that can help you run a great event. And I'm forever thankful of the crew that I've got. They're absolutely amazing. So these guys pretty much follow me through all the events we do. They're not just the Friday crew. They're also the Octane Burnouts crew. When we do our theme days, they're the crew that are helping you get your crew stickers, a whole lot. So they're
so
all
like
in.
a whole team.
They're all in. So and
the Octane Burnouts is just a Saturday Burnouts, hey?
It was this year. Next year we've had to change things up a fair bit, but this year it was all Saturday events. So it's one thing to have a good event, but it's another thing to have a great crew behind you to run it all. And I can't be thankful enough of the crew that we've got. They just get in and get the job done, no matter how enjoyable or how shitty it is. It's just they know it needs to be done and they just do it. So
So is there anything sort of in the future for Fridays, or anything different coming up? Like you got that 2-day event in the Easter weekend, which we're all locked in for. Like you were saying before, like this, it's close to where we are. Like we're all Brisbane based, obviously. So we don't have to drive up the coast or anything like that. We're not driving 6 or 7 hours to get to an event now. We can actually use our cars more.
We were going to go to
over.
We've been going to Rocky Nuts since it started. We've been going. And Rocky Nuts, great event. I like it, but no track time.
Change it up a bit.
And you're not camping next to the track like with your mates. You're camping in a cricket field. I love camping beside the track with your car right there.
It's awesome. And
you can talk about what happened during the day, like old mate lost it at turn 3 or whatever, and you know, give him a bit of shit. Like that's what
and you get people from other camps come and everyone's night time and then you meet more people, and then you
the atmosphere is fucking the atmosphere. I love
like it. Like if you're an entrant at like say an event like yours, like for the 2-day one, like there's so much time where you're busy. Being out of camp at night time gives you that time to go and then be a spectator a little bit while everyone else is gone. You get to grab a drink, grab your friend, and walk around and look at other cars. Which, because, like you can see them on the track and be like, oh, yeah, that's that one or that one. But you don't get the time to go and look at it because you're, I can change the tyres, or you're out there doing something, whatever. So, having a 2-day event would be, it's going to be fucking sick. I'm keen as shit.
Did you sort of have to twist QR's arm in that regard to try and get that spot, or...?
Early on, when I first wanted to do it, it was pretty much a no-deal thing. They were happy with QR sort of basically you work your way up with them as you would with anything. It's almost like
I'm going to give you the whole keys to the kingdom. Like,
that's right. It's almost like becoming a new employee somewhere. You work your way up from being a shit kicker into a management position. So they adopt that same principle. Obviously, I started with my morning mayhem events, and then we started with like just a 1-day Friday event. The first 1-day Friday event, I had a cap of 120 cars. That was it. Like they knew I wasn't making money on the event, but that was it. It was almost almost like an audition to see if I could do it.
So that was a cap from them or from you?
Cap from them.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
okay.
So, and because of the hype that was generated from that sold out within 20 minutes of going online. So
Really?
Yeah.
So,
Jesus.
Fuck yeah.
yeah, so the very first session that we had, it was just basically a spoken driver's briefing, like everyone gathered around like you would with a burnout briefing, and this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. Our very first session was not a driver's briefing, it was a family cruise session, and within half a lap, everyone was out there doing donuts on the track and drifting and carrying on, to the point that QR management at the time said, no, that's it, the event's done. And I said, no, hang on, let's get everyone back off track, give them another driver's briefing and see how they go. Did that, put them back on track, and everyone behaved so much more. And 11 events later, they still tell me that is the only thing that saved that event from being the only one. So the fact that I showed the initiative to bring everyone in, that I didn't just throw my hands in the air and give up, that I actually showed.
And the entrance obviously listens. Oh fuck, we can't stuff this up. Otherwise.
And did you deliver that driver's briefing?
I did.
That second one?
Yep.
And I'll bet you it was fucking right.
Yeah.
I
took a big gamble. Don't fuck it up for me. Yeah.
So, and then the second event, we had a actual video driver's briefing because we were able to capture content from the first event and get script written up and everything. Yeah. And that was absolute game changer. Like just having that video driver's briefing there just entirely changed the entire attitude of every entrant at the event.
It suits too, because like you go in, like there's a class of say like 15 or 20 people or whatever.
Yeah.
You all sit down, they shut the door, everyone's watching this TV, is there anything going on in the room? And then on your way out, you get an armband to say that you've watched it. So you can't say like I didn't see the video or anything. You know exactly what's expected of you. Don't push the limits.
Yeah.
Like there's family cruise sessions, and then there's thrash sessions. Save it for that. Like we all know the layout. Like we all you posted it. Everyone sees it. So you get an armband, and you get told if you're a dickhead out there, you come back in, you watch it again. Yep. You keep bending that rule, and you're going to be gone. Like we can, as an entrant, we can literally only fuck it up for ourselves. You've given us this whole thing. It's up to us now to not stuff it up. Like if it's going to continue, it's up to us. Like,
and out of most of the major what they call extreme events out there, so the likes of Power Cruise or Drift Matsuri or those sort of style of events, we're actually the most lenient out of the whole lot. Because we run our events so well, not only what people see, but also behind the scenes in terms of cleaning the venue up and making sure all the documentation's right when it goes back to Queensland Raceway and our insurer, and that they've essentially loosened the belt with us. And while we still have to pull the pin on when people are being extremely dangerous, people can have a little bit more fun on track than what they'd normally be allowed to at any of these other events. So
because you're so anal with the admin stuff and making sure everything's like all your I's are dotted and T's are crossed in 100%. That regard. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Just making sure that it's one thing to run an event at face value for what entrants, spectators, everyone else sees. It's a totally different kettle of fish to run an event behind the scenes. So 90% of the work is the lead up to the event, the documentation, all that sort of stuff. 10% is the actual running of the event, of which is pretty much these days mostly left to my staff. So they all know what they're doing. They run the event, and
you can go and travel the world, and they'll take care of it. Get your event ready.
I still won't miss an event, so I'll still make sure that any trips that I take away are in between events. So,
but you're still able to actually, have a family holiday, and your crew took care of most of it for you. They all knew what they were doing.
Definitely. So
it wasn't you went over there busting your ass.
Correct.
Which is great. You can have that downtime as well, which you deserve.
Fucking nice.
Which is good to see. Yeah, because I think we were talking the other day. I'm like, when's Ryan come back to the country? It's on a few days, and he's still he's still overseas. And then you're like, I'm back, and we're full foot. I was like, fuck, you did not leave yourself much time.
Yeah, so I'd
have been jet lagged still.
I'm still struggling a little bit. I'm not struggling as much as when I went over, because we came back 6 hours forward into time, when we got back, we got 1 o'clock in the morning, so we were able to just really sleep it all off on the first night home, the first morning home, really.
Yeah, okay.
But it still has been a bit of a struggle. I still find myself awake. I think the second night I was still awake at 3:30 in the morning, because that would have been 9 o'clock at night where we were, and so forth. So, it was a good trip, and we sort of managed to get back and get everything we needed organised.
Yeah, and now we're pretty. So you've set up. So today's Thursday while we're filming. So you've been out there all day today, setting up. Basically, everything's good to go.
Yep.
Ready to roll in the morning. Yeah, I know. The boys are out there setting up the tyre machine, everything, and got our little spot sorted, which is good.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we're pretty much ready to go tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so most of everything's set up. Be about half hour final set up in the morning with our crew, and then throw the gates open and start getting all the entrants and spectators through. So
because I know the three of us and Ryan as well, like young Ryan, we've worked the event before. So yeah, we've seen firsthand how everyone on your crew like jumps in. Like we only ran the burnout pad, which sort of made sense for us. I think Ryan was down like the first corner or whatever.
Yeah. He was our behaviour consultant.
So. Which he does pretty well, I'll tell you, firsthand. But yeah, he does the drift pad as well. So yeah, we've seen how we took care of the burnout pad, and then he, like everybody else, so you could hear him on the radio, like everyone's doing their little bit, and everyone just sort of chips in, and we clean up the pad afterwards, and then everyone else clean up their section, and so like you said, everyone's got their little thing, and everyone just does it. So definitely got like a well-oiled machine.
It is.
Like now.
It's taken a few events to get there, and obviously we've had a bit of a turnover of staff because it is hard getting people on a Friday to sort of take a day off work and come. But most of the guys we've got now have got good deals with their employers and that, and can get that day off and come out.
So on that, what was what made you go Fridays? Like, was it event scheduling like around the country, or like QR schedule that made you go Fridays? And because it is like, a lot of, I guess, general people work like Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
So was there a tipping point that made you go, Fridays instead of like Saturdays, or like, you know what I mean?
So Queensland Raceway, and much to their credit, I 100% agree with this, in an attempt to prevent the exact same event done by different people. They want each major event out there to have a point of difference to something else. So obviously, you can look at the likes of Power Cruise. Yes, our event is loosely modelled from Power Cruise, but it is our own event. It has our own spin on it. So the difference between Power Cruise and our event is we allocate group times to people. So instead of Power Cruise, where you just line up and hope you can get out for one of the cruise sessions, we guarantee that everyone has a guaranteed amount of track time per day.
Thing,
that's what I love about it, for sure. Like, you're in Thrash 1 or Thrash 2 or whatever, and then you're like, right, I've got this bit, so when I'm not out there, I've got downtime. I can
So the other point of difference was, and this is also due to them not having any weekend dates, was that we did it as a midweek event. So so Fridays,
it's more logical day to do it instead of like a Tuesday or
that's right. Like,
Tuesdays would have been a bit different.
So
so that makes sense.
And we
winging it Wednesdays.
We looked at it and thought, well, a lot of people want to start their weekend the right way. So if we did an event like we do on a Friday, then people leave there happy, and it starts their weekend right. And on that note, it also hasn't encroached into their weekend. So they've still got 2 days of the weekend to do whatever they want. And plus, they've had an awesome day out. So
and it is far enough apart that you can tell your employer, like, I want this Friday off, and I want that one off. It's not every Friday or anything. It's just
So we were doing 4 events a year when we first started, but we've now scaled that back to 3. I think we might have 4 scheduled for next year. So one of them, if it all goes ahead, one of them will be like a Saturday afternoon, evening event sort of thing, like just a short Friday. So it won't be a half-day event as such, but it will still be a good 9-hour, 10-hour event. So so that'll be good. But we're just all trying these different things, see what works and what doesn't, and always just trying to mix it up and just not have the same thing over and over and over again, because there's only so many things you can do at these events.
I was about to say, there's anything else you can really add to it to make it different. But like, there's roll racing, there's cruising, there's like the drifting section, there's burnouts, power skids, like within the car scene, like there's not really too much else we can do.
Correct.
Like apart from what you've got, and I think what you've got is
100% agree.
It's
packed. The day is packed. That day we went out with Pinky. And you bought 7 sets or something.
I took 7 sets, and by 10:30 I looked at you and I was like, man, I need to start figure out what we're actually going to do here.
Literally.
Because I only went like one thrash session, and then we did the roll racing. And then I came back and I was like, right, I've got those 2 sets for the burnouts later, so that's locked in. I've got these sets left. And so I think I didn't go in the thrash session so that I'd have enough tyres, which is not your fault, that's my fault. But I thought 7 sets, I was like, that's fucking heaps. I've never done 7 sets in a day. I've done 6 over like a 3-day event. And I haven't done 7 in like 10 hours or whatever, or 12 hours or whatever.
Well, the only complaints we've ever had for Friday is people either didn't bring enough fuel or tyres. So it's not a bad complaint to have, really. So,
So now I've got less sets, but well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, no. Last time I did 2 on the drift fab, which I won't do this time. So that's
I'm probably going to steer clear of the drift.
There you go. Yeah. Well, young Ryan's not over there.
You're getting out there.
Yeah. Well, young Ryan's not over there with the flag this time, so it might be all right.
I might just have to get him over just for you guys.
Yeah. But this time we are talking about having a crack at the power skid. So
yeah,
we're going to swap. I'm going to take a set of his 15s. He's going to take a set of my 17s, and then
Yeah.
So,
I'm actually a bit nervous. It's only been burnout events lately.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, we were saying today we haven't done like a driving event in so
I'm
long.
fucking so excited.
We've forgotten how to friggin' drive. No.
Yeah.
It'll be alright.
Good thing we got the family cruise for you to
Exactly.
learn how to drive a car then, hey.
I'll be putting around in that family cruise session.
Yeah.
Just
Bedding your engine in and then,
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it's still got running oil in it, so I've got to drop that,
Yeah.
Anyway. But
learn how to drive it again.
Gonna be good.
Pretty fucking
it's gonna be sweet. I'm keen as. And then gates open at 6 and it pretty much finishes at 10 p.m. So it's from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. That's a fucking big day.
16
like your crew put
hours,
in
I think.
Yeah, that's a massive day for your crew to put in.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's supposed to be hot too, so
well, driving out to the track today, it was showing 37 degrees on the in-car thermometer thing.
Unreal,
so
and it's supposed to be, I think, something similar tomorrow. So.
Better than storms, but I was saying I'd rather deal with the fucking heat than the pissing down rain, because that just makes it fucking
I'd rather be
miserable.
drinking water in Powerade than sitting there like under the gazebo being like, I could train it.
They're saying storms, I think, from like 4 or 5, which touch fucking wood.
Half the time they go around. Like, hopefully they go around.
Puddles will be the only one out there on the wet pad.
You reckon?
Us on methanol.
Second time's a charm.
Yeah. Us on methanol should be right. But nah. So I guess, being a promoter and as driven as you are, sort of the next question, do you have any advice for someone who does want to be a promoter or is thinking about it? Or... Apart from don't do it.
Look, quite simply, don't do it unless you want to end up grey like this. This was all normal coloured hair before I started. So I'm only 18 years old. No, look, there's so many events out here. When I was 18, I was one of the guys that was going to all the police versus hoon meetings, trying to get a racetrack sorted. I was also one of those hoons that were causing these meetings to happen.
So you're going to both sides of it.
I managed to lose 53 demerit points in the space of 12 months in one
Holy
point. So,
shit! You only got 12.
Yeah, I was disqualified from driving for 2 years by court order, and then I was disqualified again 1 year into it for another 2 years. So
you should have the Queensland Police should give you an award for that. Like, holy,
they did something like $28,000 in fines or something. So
holy,
so
what were you doing?
Holy shit!
What wasn't I doing would probably be easier to.
Fuck,
true.
Miles was over off camera like bowing, like, oh my
god. A 6-cylinder VH Commodore.
And you lost that many points.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. The most civil one I got done for was running a red light because I went through an orange light just as it went red. So that was the most civil fine I got. But the rest of it was street racing or burnouts out in the industrial estate. And
did you grow up in Brizzy or the Sunshine
Coast?
Yeah, right.
Yep. So
you went to school up there and that, like born up there,
born and bred.
So did that have a car scene, like you're growing up, like Sunny Coast, or was it more Brisbane?
No, it did have a car scene, but you could go out any night during the week and there'd be people out there cruising till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, any night.
Points.
I was one of those people that was doing that every night of the week. So,
true.
Yep. I was literally going to work to pay my fuel bill. So, and that's when fuel was 60 cents a litre or something.
Yeah.
Showing my age there, aren't I?
Yeah. No, well, when I got my license, it was like 50 to 60 cents. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I tell my niece and she's like 20 now. She got a license.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have no idea what it used to be like, dude.
Now, I remember when it hit $1 and I was like, oh.
And even I remember back then. So I grew up in Cairns. I took my S13 Sylvia. A mate took his VN. Another mate took his VT. All three of us drove like an hour up to Mariba and back just because.
Yeah.
And our parents at the time were like, you're crazy. Like, you're just burning fuel for no reason.
Yeah.
But instead of three of us getting in one car, we all took our own cars just because.
Yeah.
And now, look at the fuel price, I'm like, probably wouldn't do it now.
Yeah.
But back then, you're like, it's like 60 cents. Who gives a shit? Yeah. But our parents are like, this is expensive as fuck. Like, you're wild.
Yeah.
But that is crazy amount of points, man.
Yeah. But look, having those 3 years off, because as I said, I got disqualified for 2 years, and then I got disqualified again 1 year into those 2 years. So it was 3 years total. managed to successfully appeal at the end of that sentence to get my license back, and I've been pretty good since then.
So then you're like, I'll start an event where people come and do it legally and not do it on the street and lose that many points.
Correct, and I can use that story as sort of an advocate for road safety, and I've had friends killed out on the street for doing stupid stuff, speeding, like hitting trees, all that sort of stuff. So creating my own events has always been a big thing that I wanted to do. So like that's when I was sort of 18, 19 years old, and I mean, find someone in our car scene who is like roughly our age, who hasn't done that sort of shit. We've all done it. I don't think you find anyone who's like, I never did anything on the street. Yes, you did. Like you're lying through your teeth.
Some people got caught more than others.
I missed that thing twice in a row. That's ridiculous.
Just aim that way a little bit.
Well, I'm gonna have to.
Like
we've all done it.
I've always wanted to do events and everything since I was like 18 years old. Finally got the opportunity to start doing them 9 years ago now. That's how long we've been doing our Happy Lap events for. But look, if someone, if back then there was literally no events. Like I was going to these meetings because there was nowhere to do. Willowbank was there. Queensland Raceway hadn't even been built at that point. So unless you were going drag racing once a month, whenever their tests and tunes were on, there was literally nothing to do. There were no car shows. There were no no groups around doing like downshift or anything like that, doing all these car meets. There was literally maybe one car club, like Karoi Car Club or something, doing an event up in Karoi once a year and stuff like that. But over the years, like everyone's wanted to become an event promoter themselves, and there's a lot of events out there these days, and it's genuinely hard to compete with other events. So if I had advice for someone wanting to start events, it would be, one, find somewhere where there's no events. Good mate of mine, Rodney Mayer,
from Townsville.
He started Motor Madness up in Townsville, and it is absolutely huge. Like he's getting 15 to 20,000 people through the gates at the showgrounds over the weekend.
And that's more of a standstill show with like
it's pretty much it's a static car show except for a small cruise route. They do power skids and go to O now.
But I think he had to bust his ass to get that over the line as well. There's no burnouts, but obviously it's like...
Have they got a full track set up there? Or
No, it's basically a showground. I don't even know what... It's like a paved road surface, like pavers where they do the power skids. So it's not even like asphalt where they can just reseal over it. So they're probably doing skids on probably the most valuable part of the track.
But that starter thing is like go to woe, and then obviously Barber and the likes are like, I'll go to woe. And just be very fucking... So for those who can't see, Casey Tolcher's sitting behind the camera. He probably does it too.
Cheers, Casey.
Yeah, probably a little bit. He's saying a little bit. So it's like, I'll go to woe, just be slow. And then from there, obviously, I guess the council or whoever's been like, all right, we'll obviously incorporate this a little bit. But it's no burnout comp. It's, I'd say, 85-90% is a static show.
Yes.
And the rest of it's those few little driving things.
But the reason for the success in that is largely due to there's literally nothing else going on up in Townsville.
Where it is.
If you want to go to an event, you've got to drive 4 hours north to Cairns, or you've got to drive to Rocky, which is only once a year, or you've got to come down to Brisbane or Sydney.
Or Mackay's only got dragged. Oh, actually in burnouts now, but didn't have for a long time.
And Mackay, of course. But like it just he's absolutely hit a gold mine there because he's done an event in like it's his hometown, but he's done an event where there's nothing else going on. So for the weekends that those events on, it's a huge thing in Townsville. Like everyone gets a part of it, and I'm so proud of him for it because he has tried so many times for different events at racetracks and everything, and it's not gone so well for him. But to see this one work as well as it does for him, I'm absolutely stoked.
There's a lot to be said for that, to try and for it to fail or get knocked back or whatever, but you just keep getting back on because you've just got to do it. And then to have the success,
it all
fucking hell.
You're like, this is why I did it.
That's some good advice right there.
So that's the first thing. Find somewhere that there's not much else going on. Like our events go well, but that's because we're getting pretty well known. But there's so many other events in Southeast Queensland that don't do well because you just look at any of the event lists that like the Rebels Car Club, all that sort of stuff release. There's 50, 60, 70 events on every weekend in Southeast Queensland.
I see they do a good job too, like actually releasing. But you read it. And you're 3 pages in, and you're like, I can't. I can go do like the coffee thing or something. Or
so you can have the best event out there, but you're still competing with all these other events, all these other promoters. Second thing, if you want to do events at a racetrack, find something different that hasn't been done before. Have that point of difference, because if you don't have something that the racetrack management see is different to anything else they've got, they'll shut the door on you right there and then. So that's not them being rude. They get hundreds, thousands of requests a year from people wanting to do an event, and so forth. So we go in there and
we might have sent a few emails back in the day.
So for Queensland Raceway, it's Power Cruise and it's Fridays.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think like a while ago, these boys are like, "Hey, can we have a crack?" And I think they'll basically.
Oh, we wanted something small, a little Winginit meeting, and pretty much we're told go to a Fridays or a Power Cruise.
Yeah.
Like no chance here.
The guy out there being like, I've already got 2 major things.
Yeah, exactly.
You aren't bringing anything different.
Yep.
Which, like obviously, fair for having a crack. Like I'm proud of both of you for having a crack at it and even like putting it out there.
Yeah.
But that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
He's seen. He's got
100%,
Power Cruise. He's got Fridays. Like,
you never can.
Like,
it's hard
I
to
love your
compete.
initiative, but no, it doesn't suit where we are. Which makes a lot of sense hearing you say that now.
And also, big difference between going and speaking to someone in person and shaking a hand rather than just flicking off an email that you can do in 20 seconds.
No, you've got to really approach them.
Something different. Yeah,
it's like that with a job. Even these days, 90% of people who actually go to a business and hand their resume into them in person will be looked more favourably than someone who just hands a resume or something. Same applies with an events. Go make yourself known to the track, and just like talk to them about it. And just you don't even need to go there the first time with a solid business plan or anything. Just say, look, I'd really love to get into event promotion and that. Is there anything that you guys feel that your current schedule of events isn't adequately covering and stuff like that? Like it may not be what you want to do there, but it gets your foot in the door sort of thing. I started doing Happy Laps events 8-9 years ago, and I always wanted to do this style of event. So much so that the first Happy Laps event that we ran, I went up and shook the general manager's hand. Thank you so much for giving me a chance. I want to work my way up to doing a Power Cruise style of event one day. He turned around to me and he goes, "You'll never be doing a Power Cruise style event here." Like he said that to me then.
Wow.
And like in my mind, I was gutted, but at the same time, I said to myself, challenge accepted.
Switch to start.
Fucking ass.
So,
wow. Because he already had a Power Cruise event.
He already had Power Cruise, and the way that Power Cruise was structured and the way their insurance and everything was structured, it was the goose with the golden egg sort of thing. So they were very protective of it and so forth. So, look, Power Cruise is an awesome event. I absolutely love it. I still go down to the events, even though I'm now so-called competing promoter. I still go down. I enjoy it as a spectator, as I do with Northern Nats, as I do with Brash and Nats. Like we sponsor Brash and Nats, but I go down there to enjoy the event itself. I will happily promote any event out there because I truly want to see the car scene flourish and people keep it off the street. So so
not lose 54 points. Jesus
Christ, I learnt my lesson. But I want to enjoy all events, whether I'm making money from them or running them or anything. I don't even like next year we're going to be travelling up to Northern Nats as spectators. We're not going up and doing photography or anything next year. We're going up as spectators. Like,
and you're not taking Octane Apparel.
I enjoy going to the events as much as I do.
Trailer up, or you sent your trailer up this year?
No, we'll fly up and
No, but did you do that this year?
Yeah.
So you're a trade person this year.
So, but next year, pretty much all events except for Brash and Nats, we're going to be going to as spectators. So Gaz and Nats will be flying up to. Brash and Nats, we're sponsoring with a naming rights sponsor for the event.
So we'll be
get into that. Taking our trade stand down for that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're keen to get back. I'm keen to get back there, but these two are definitely keen to get to Brash and Nats for sure.
So, but I support all events. Even as a competing event promoter, which I don't believe that's a correct term. I'm another event promoter. I've got a pretty good rapport with most of the other promoters out there these days.
That's good. That's good.
That's awesome.
That's fucking really good. Like you said, you shouldn't be against each other. You should be trying to help each other to be like
work together. And
on that too, does then the timing of them all, like how much do you look into the dates? Do you look at all the other events throughout the year, like say Queensland, New South Wales, for like where we're based, and do you go right? New South Wales has got this, Queensland's got this already. I'll pick these few events. It's going to clash with guys in WA, South Australia, but they probably aren't looking at coming here anyway. Correct. Or if they are, like it is what it is. But obviously, there's there's only so many weekends in a year, so many events are getting done. Like they're going to clash with someone.
Yeah, definitely.
So as a promoter, you're like, all right, you have to draw a line in the sand somewhere and go, these are the times I'm going to pick, and
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Or
So
do you try and get in first and be like, I reckon these are like.
a lot of the main events out there have their same dates locked in every year. Like Brash and Nuts is a long weekend of June every year without fail.
My birthday.
Summer Nuts is the first weekend of January.
Yeah.
So most of the big events have already got their dates locked in, like for the next 10 years, as that whatever it is that they
and
run
everyone
with.
kind of like as entrants, we come to expect that kind of
So next year with our Friday long weekend event, we are running the same weekend as Rocky Nuts, as you boys have said. However, my reasoning for that is not to compete with Rocky Nuts, but this year we did an event on Good Friday, and it was at the time our biggest event we'd ever had. So even though Rocky Nuts was happening the same weekend,
Not really affected.
it also made me realise not everyone's going to Rocky Nuts.
No.
A lot of people are staying in Brisbane. They want to have somewhere they can go and have fun on a long weekend where they don't have to work over the weekend or they got a bit of time off. And we decided that we're just going to capitalise on that, going from our being our biggest one-day event to hopefully which will be the start of our big two-day events. So
how concerned are you then with running your first one at the same time as like something like Rocky Nuts, which has been like 3 years, I think
that was
now.
our third year.
So like obviously they're somewhat like situated in, and then you've gone, oh, I'm just gonna basically have a crack, and end up being the biggest event you've got so far. Like were you worried leading into it being like, fuck, is anyone going to turn up? Or?
I was very concerned because Queensland Raceway is so busy these days that it got last year. It got to the point that you couldn't really choose your dates. It was like this is what's available.
Take it.
Make whatever you can work. So and one of them, one of them was Good Friday. We booked a date, going, yep, that'll be sweet. That's everything's starting to cool down. And then it was like a month later, we realised it was Good Friday. And when Rocky Nut started advertising, it's like, oh shit, what have we done here? But we ran with it. I don't like cancelling events or changing dates. So we ran with it, and it ended up being really.
But even as us, like we've said on previous podcasts before, like as entrants. For us, like we're 20 minutes from where we're sitting right now. We've said that time and time again before.
I'll always go fucking. I love local. Like,
and we've done that 3 years in a row. So we've done the first three. Like we've shown, like like we love the event. We've shown loyalty a little bit, and then it's like your event's just logistically, it's easy for us. So, but then not doing Rocky Nuts and doing your event then opens up a gate for us to then sort of like money wise and everything, because we're not traveling and all the accommodation and everything. That opens up Tropical Meltdown and Northern Nats. So, which I've been to before, but these two haven't, and we all want to get to there. So,
definitely.
It kind of opens up, like not going to that one this next year.
Yeah, that's actually very true.
Opens up the door. Because you think about how much you're spending on fuel and accommodation and all that shit to get, even though we love the event.
And even just the travel time, like taking those extra 2-3 days off work for travel and so forth.
Which is where,
it's big
20 minutes like from here.
Yeah.
I think you're like 40 minutes from your house or whatever.
Yeah.
So, so you save all that money, and then it's like, right, that money will get us to Northern Nats and Tropical Meltdown, which we're all, like these two are definitely trying to get to. And it's not for a lack of trying, it's just, it's obviously, it's expensive sport that we're in. For some dumb reason, we picked this one. So it's like,
mate, if I could pick bloody basket weaving, I would.
You do such a good job, though.
I could see you knitting for sure. But so, and that's mainly the main. Like we all sat down and talked about it, and that was, I know for Damo especially, and I don't like to speak for him, but I know he said to us like, if I got to start picking certain events and not doing these other ones that I love, it's going to open up the door to do these other ones, and it's just trying to spread out your calendar. And
that's why I didn't do Summer Nats. So like as much as I'd love to go, I'm flying down, support you, and we got your big things going on. Which is going to be exciting.
I'm in the same boat.
We're just flying down. You're the only one. The only one. Fucking. Only one.
But for you, that opens up not doing Summer Nats at the start of the year, then opens up doing your event. So your event, I think, would be the first one of the year. And then, but then that opens up Northern Nats, Tropical Meltdown.
Your event's the only event I have planned for next year. I'll just wing the rest of it.
That's the next event after this one for me. I got to fucking pull the motor and shit.
And then I want to do, like, I definitely want to get to Gazanats. So, I know Young Ryan wants to get to Alice Springs. So I want to go, like, your event, like either Northern Nats, Tropical Meltdown, Gazanats, Alice, and then back again. And that would be me done until like a couple of your events, and then like Summer Nats again. But you just got to, unfortunately, have to drop a few off to then pick up another one. And it's just, it's how it is. But you can't. I mean, unless you're a millionaire and you don't want to be a millionaire anymore, go and do them all. But, the sport will make a billionaire to a millionaire real fucking quick.
Just go chuck it on a plane and go around the world.
Oh yeah, whole Luxord.
Yeah, man of the moment, old Kyle. So,
Bloody
Yeah, he's loving it.
He'll be there tomorrow, eh?
Yeah,
He's
he's
he put up his little six-pack he's bringing. That's what he's bringing.
I spoke to him yesterday morning, actually. He had the trip of a lifetime. So doing everything from cruising Las Vegas Strip to
that was
absolutely
just
destroying the burn yard at SEMA and then
shutting
winning.
down SEMA.
The Vegas Strip done it for me.
Yeah.
Just rolling down Vegas Strip in the fuck. How can you beat that?
lapping on the street with like all the lights, all the people lining on the street.
That is
I think,
fucking
like
awesome.
You said like the lobby of that building. Was
Yeah.
like he drove.
He
wasn't just going from like
there.
he wasn't just going. Oh, I'm just going to go down the end of the street. Like I think you said it's like 27 seconds of you're going
driving past a lobby,
one
building,
and then he kept going. Then
Watch
he
the
turned,
video again; it will blow your mind. Look past the car and how awesome it looks. Just look at the building behind it. It is just
I didn't see
wow.
that. And then I was showing my
big
wife.
foyer.
The
Was
video,
it like
'cause
a
I was
casino or
watching-
something? You drive
No,
past a
it's a
casino.
convention centre.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
But
so-
it's
Righto.
huge, man.
Yeah.
Because when
Yeah.
you pointed it out, I was
Massive.
like, "What are you talking about?" And I watched it again, and I was like laughing. My wife's like, "What?" I was like, "Have a look at this." And that's sort of puts it into perspective of how far he actually drives.
Yeah.
And then he turns a corner, then he goes down that road for like ages. Like it's not just we'll do this 100 meter thing and it's gonna look sick. Like
Yeah.
he's fucking driving
It's
down
lapping,
the street.
Gangster
And
as man.
turns
Oh
corners,
man,
yeah.
when I saw that, like, oh man,
Yeah.
But you
it
showed me
hurts.
any.
It hurts to see it. Like honestly, like
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh.
fuck my life.
literally, like, he's just living the dream. I think we said it so many times.
Yeah.
Guys living the dream.
Yeah.
He is.
And
He's,
good on him.
he's
Good on
done
him for
well.
having a
Yeah,
crack.
fucking knows.
100%.
He's
Fuck,
obviously
man.
worked hard. And
I spoke to him
fucking,
for a little bit yesterday morning, and like you guys, like what he's done so far, I don't think is as a blip on the radar and what he's got planned. So
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely keep an eye on Luxord.
yeah.
He's
Oh,
got some
yeah.
serious shit
I got a
going on,
feeling he's
so-
got
Which
fucking...
he
Where do you
did
get
a
the
podca-
ideas from? Like,
But he did a
where do you-
podcast over then. He was saying like he's building a burnout car again, like another one, and it's going to be like the most mental thing that anyone in this country's ever seen.
Yeah.
True.
He's like if I can get it to work, it's going to be the fucking sickest burnout car.
We need to get him on the podcast.
So, yeah.
We need
Well,
to get him on here
We
for a
have
chat.
spoken to him. Well, I've spoken to him again since he's been back in the country.
Yeah, he
and
said he
he's
was
like, I've got
coming
a few
on, yeah.
commitments, but so hopefully in the next, well, either by Christmas or just after Summer Nats, he will be jumping on the couch.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
which
Man.
I'm dying to hear about. Same thing, like how he got into it, what America was like, and what's obviously in the future. But
Yeah.
that dude's fucking he's nailing it. Obviously, to see Luxford not at an event is going to be a little bit weird.
Yeah.
And he had a golden ticket to Summer Nats too. Like that's a big thing to give up. Like,
Yeah.
and the podcast that he was on, he spoke about that. He's like, I have to give up a lot to go to the States. It wasn't just. Take it over there and bring it back again. Like he's
Bit
given
of
up
a
the
leap of
golden
faith,
ticket.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look what's
yeah.
happened.
And the way I see it,
But
like
you don't want to be 80 and be like, fuck.
Yeah.
I should have done this.
And the way I see it, if he got that car back here and did Summer Nats this year and won it, he would be the greatest burnout driver in the world because he's won Cletus in cars.
Yeah.
And
All
he's
in the
won
same year,
the
yeah.
premier event, Summer Nats Burnout Master.
Yeah.
So, like, by default,
Yeah.
he would be,
Yeah.
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 But,
Oh.
as he said, he has sacrificed a lot to do the American
Fuck,
trip.
yeah.
But look, it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So,
Yeah,
So-
anyone gets a golden ticket to Summer Nats, and it is like our sort of holy grail, I guess, in the burnout scene, like it always has been. I think it probably always will be, or at least for a while anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that event where everyone's like, you win that, you are the best.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's no doubt about it. You've made it. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's another event that will eventually take that, or if
Yeah.
that's going to keep doing what they're doing. But
Yeah.
at the moment, everyone, which is why since I've been going, I want to keep on going because to me,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's the grand final of
Yeah,
burnout. So.
but that also opens the consideration that maybe Australia isn't just the place to, like, if you want to be the best burnout driver in the world, you literally have to start going
around the world.
international. Like,
Yep.
Fuck yeah, definitely.
It's it's creating that new
scary
level
thought,
of
eh?
commitment.
Yeah.
So,
You gotta go worldwide.
Get a couple mil, and we can.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll start selling some fucking Winginit merch and let's go.
Yeah.
I know a good
yeah.
start.
Start
Well, I was
building.
gonna say, Ron's gonna start printing some and then
Build a
like,
few
yeah.
engines. Everyone needs to come to Fridays, blow your engine up, and then come see us, and we'll build you a new one.
and buy merch while you're there too.
And buy some merch.
And buy some Octane
Yeah.
apparel as
Which,
well.
Which then he'll make
yeah.
full of us, and then
Yeah.
it's a revolving door. Like,
There you go.
Yeah.
We got tyres before you blow up.
Yeah.
Tyre machine.
Tire machines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring all your tires. Yeah.
yeah, and the only reason I'm doing the time machine is because Murphin is in America as well. So,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
he's normally
Having a nice little family holiday. So
Yeah, which is great to see as well. So it's good to see, good like Aussie guys going to America and absolutely crushing it. So
Fuck
Yeah.
no.
Hands
Definitely.
down.
yeah,
Hands
I
down.
love seeing it. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I think last question to finish it off.
Yeah.
Are you ever going to build a car?
Yes.
I know you've got
Nice.
one, which I've seen and I've heard, and I'm like,
Well, I've got
True.
I've got two cars actually.
Yeah.
I've got what used to be an 860 horsepower blown VESS ute.
Yep.
That's got the full trim, full $20,000 stereo with all the subs and 2 sets of speakers in the doors, all that sort of
Is that
stuff.
the-
That's
Yeah.
the blue one.
It's got the yeah.
that's
So
shifty.
it's got the fully built driveline and that. I just happened to destroy the blower on it, so it went back to naturally aspirated, and it's
Yep.
now sitting in the naughty corner for a while.
yeah.
The plan
Pretty
is
drinks.
to redo the motor on that, like give it a
Yep.
bit of a freshen up, chuck a couple of turbos on the side,
Yeah, nice.
convert it to auto, and go for the motor is built to handle upwards of 1500 horsepower. So,
Oh, so it's fucking good to go.
So finally got one.
Oh, no.
The
It
motor
had
is
to be on
built.
this, but anyway.
Yeah, the motor is built to handle upwards of 1500 horsepower. So I'd like to see a conservative 1200 horsepower
Fucking
for that
oath.
thing out the wheels. I also have a VK that is sitting in a shipping container that I would like to put a blown big block into, and I would like to see at least 1,000 kilowatts at the wheels out of that one. So, yeah. However, as you guys know, I've recently, last couple of years, I've become a dad, and we've moved house into our dream home.
Yep.
So, and then obviously building the events. That's all been taken.
It all
on money
takes-
sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I've been
yeah.
focusing
Yeah,
on getting those things done.
Yep.
Once I'm happy with the way pretty much the house and the events are and all that sort of stuff, and stop sinking money into that,
Yeah.
then I'll start playing with the cars. So
That's awesome,
once I
man.
start
Fuck
playing
yeah.
with the cars, though, it won't be long until you start seeing them out.
Yeah.
Fuck
It'll be
yeah.
Because you're that, like...
it'll be a
I
quick.
can't
Yeah.
wait. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see you out driving.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
will,
yeah,
you,
yeah.
Your own
will you
event.
drive your own
Yeah, of
your own
course.
event?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
dude.
So
Like, imagine
Fuck
that.
yeah.
Your own event, you're just like,
But then you're
Let's
reaping
go.
the rewards of like what you've built.
Yeah,
yeah,
You get to
exactly.
fucking,
that'll be
like,
that
that's-
moment where
yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
holy.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure probably like Brash is the same if he skid his own event. Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
opens it up and everything. Like
Yeah.
it's you've sunk all this hard time into it,
Yeah.
and then you get to
Fucking
like
oath.
Kev Davis Tropical Meltdown.
Yeah.
He opens the burnouts
Yeah.
up. It's like
You gotta have
you don't-
fun.
You don't compete at your own event, but you get to go and enjoy it and open
Yeah.
it up or whatever. Or yeah,
exactly.
like-
So,
yeah.
but yeah, no,
fuck
definitely
VK,
got
that'd be
plans to
sick.
build my own cars and
Yeah.
get them out there.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
we've got a lot of ideas in the pipeline, not even just with cars, but with other businesses that will complement not only our events, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
More businesses.
oh yeah, hell yeah. I'm an entrepreneur, mate. I can't just create a business and be done with it. I create something, make
Yeah.
it work really well, then hand it over to someone else, and I'll start on
Fuck
the next
yes.
idea.
Yeah,
So,
I love that. I love that.
yeah.
Someone trying to.
and you know enough
Yeah, sweet.
people within the scene, I guess, too, to obviously like help you, guide you, like,
Winging it.
You want to build
Winginit Motorsports.
something or whatever, or like whatever it is.
Oh, Shifty. Shifty ringing me. Oh, yeah.
Shifty, we're bloody busy, mate.
Oh, hopefully I didn't ruin the. Hopefully it didn't ruin the video.
But yeah, so you, yeah,
Should be
you,
right.
you know enough people you can be like, yeah, build me this, or
Yeah.
yeah, like give it to people, and yeah,
Yep.
Winginit Motorsports can build an engine.
I was
But,
just about to say, yeah.
but yeah, so which is good too for you, like
Yeah.
yeah, you can yeah, so
Yeah,
be-
for sure. So,
yeah.
but no, you'll start seeing some cars get out
So
there.
the
soon.
Utes like pretty much going to be the first one ready to go, or
What do you mean?
over the VK? Like
The Ute's pretty much mostly done.
Yeah,
Like the driveline's done. The thing, it's the car itself is built. It just needs to freshen up. Gearbox change to auto and twin turbos put
Yep.
on. So it's 90% done. So
Fuck yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So hey, Justin.
I mean, right at the end to say good
Yeah.
day to everyone.
So the VK will definitely be a couple of years from now at the very minimum. So
Yeah.
And are you
So-
building, say, the VK? Are you looking at like show car, skid car, like a
It'll be a dedicated track car.
Okay.
The Ute I built as an everything car, so I can compete in stereo comps. I can take it out to one of my morning mayhem happy lab. I can do a burnout in it if I need to. It's an all rounder.
Yeah.
Whereas the VK will be a dedicated track car, so
Yeah,
it'll
fuck
be
yeah.
a blower sticking
It's
out
been
the
a long
bonnet.
time since I've seen like a stereo comp. Like
Yeah.
they used to be.
Dude, I've been
used to be
thinking about it
huge,
recently.
Yeah, same.
Getting the stereo system, like getting the actual gangster sub system going.
Yeah,
Get your number plate going, fucking.
yeah, your hair and
My
like,
one,
I don't have hair.
my stereo
Right.
cracks my windscreen.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I'm 3 windscreens in
We
since
need
I've
to-
installed that stereo.
We need to do
Yeah,
more
yeah.
of this. We need to do more of this stereo shit, man.
Yeah.
There was like one.
but obviously in the like I don't know what was it like the late '90s, early 2000s, like that was like it was just taking
Yeah.
off. Like
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
like the biggest thing in cars was
Yeah.
like put put the biggest sub you can in and just blow everything away.
Yeah.
Well, that was
we've
my
got to
car.
make it come.
Fucking the whole back seat when it was in the magazine. There was no back seat. It was just all subs.
Yeah, right.
Back parcel
Like
shelf.
Sony
Fucking
Explode, I think. With
When
Sony,
Pioneer released that head unit with the animated dolphins on it,
Yeah.
that just exploded the car sound scene.
the
mate.
Alpine.
I
Alpine.
think that's gone around on
Alpine
social media.
subs.
Yeah. It's like, how old are you? And it's got like that thing. I'm like, man, we've all done it.
Yeah.
Like, we've all had that. And watching them drive, you're like, fuck, I've made it. Like, now you look back and you're like, far.
Yeah.
Like, what is
Now you've
going
got
on?
a fucking plasma in your fucking dash.
Yeah, and then every headrest has a screen, and then you pop your boot and you've got a fucking 16-inch TV in there and shit. Like,
Yeah.
It's all crazy, but yeah, that's crazy. And just to touch on too before we do finish up, your Morning Mayhem, it's registered cars, hey?
Yep.
Which
So
is the
registered
difference from the
cars.
Fridays, like, yeah.
Yeah, so easiest way to explain Morning Mayhem for anyone that's been to Fridays, it's the family cruise. So 90 minutes, 1.5 hours on track of just family cruise. So you can bring your mates out, cruise around the track, like a couple of little tiny quick hits sort of thing, like nothing
But
too
it's
serious,
not-
but
yeah.
it's a good opportunity for people to come out and check out like what it's like to cruise around on a racetrack. So if you were referencing this to like a starter drug, it's basically the marijuana of progressing through the Fridays, which is the heroin. So
Yes, I like that. That's true. That's
And
true.
so apparently we're all
fucking
jumping.
awesome.
Have you ever
We all
had,
fucking
have you
love
ever
it.
had like a blown car or like a a nasty like really tough car out at
Morning Mayhem.
Out at Morning Mayhem.
We've had a handful out there a couple of times.
True.
But he is registered too.
He
though,
is registered
so,
and
yeah.
mod plated.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So,
So that's still okay.
yeah.
Well, that's the requirement.
Yeah, until recently there was a blanket rule, no roll cage cars out there because a few people back in the early days flouted, like they were bringing out full race spec cars with a set of number plates on them, so the insurer's just like, no roll cage cars, but they've started opening that up again to, to
But if
allowing-
you're genuinely registered,
Yep.
then
you're good to go.
happy
Registered, mod plated,
Like, yeah.
safe.
Yep.
Happy
Yeah,
days.
we
road
can't,
legal, essentially.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, we can't slap plates on our car and be like, oh, we're fucking registered because we're dodging down the road. Yeah.
Well, it'd be registered.
Which we can sort. Yeah, well, we can sort out. But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, awesome, man. It's been absolutely fucking fantastic to have you on.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
oath. Fucking oath.
Yeah.
It's been great to get an insight to I was really keen on like seeing how you started and what the tipping point was for you to, because for me, like I'm in the mining industry and it's a massive thing to go, this is comfortable as shit,
Yeah.
but I've hustled in the background for ages and I'm going to take that tipping point and I'm going to give this away.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to,
It's honestly scary. Like I know
Oh,
when I done it like
yeah.
with my business fucking
Yep.
2-3 years ago or whatever,
Yep.
just that change, I fucking shit myself.
Yeah.
Going, quitting your job and
Yeah.
just going, I've got to make
backing
money
yourself.
somehow.
Yeah.
Like,
It's basically like jumping out of an aeroplane with a
fuck,
without a
it's-
parachute.
Yeah.
So, but look, if you're making money from your venture, like enough that you know you can survive on, and
Yeah.
you've done it consistently for 6 months,
then
make the jump, because then that extra time that you're not spending at your other job, you can spend in on advertising, marketing, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Your money, like your income, will go.
Yeah.
It'll go parabolic.
Yeah,
So,
and I saw a video one day. It was like everyone. So to like reference like jumping out of an airplane, it's like everyone's afraid on the flight up.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, there's so much fear, and then when you jump, it's just like it's all gone.
Yeah.
It's like what were you scared about?
Yeah.
yeah,
So I was
exactly.
like, yeah.
Fucking oath.
But obviously, to give up your livelihood's a little bit different, but yeah. Like that sort of, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been great, man, to have you on the couch. Thank
Fucking
you.
oath.
I know from all of us, like we picture this idea, like this is what we want to do. We have no idea what we're doing, but we're going to give it a crack.
Yep.
You give us the opportunity to sit here and drink beers and talk shit with people, and it's great. I love it. I love that we have this thing going on.
Yeah.
Stole the words out of my mouth.
Yeah,
Definitely.
It's a slow burn, but it's going to be a slow burn. Like nothing
Yeah.
just goes gangbusters. But,
Yeah.
This is our contribution. One of the ways we can contribute to the car scene.
Yeah,
by
definitely, and I love it. And,
getting access to people like yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if we have one person that watches it, and one person that looks at something that we've said or something, and they changes how they skid or how they feel about the burnout scene, or them starting a business or whatever. We change one person, like I'm happy as fuck. So
Yeah.
No, truth be
it's
known,
been-
this is something that I wanted to do 4 or 5 years ago, but just didn't have the time to. So I'm absolutely stoked that you guys are you guys are doing it, and
Just trying to keep
basically
it alive.
thanks for your support.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the scene
no, I look
alive,
happy to,
fucking-
guys. It's,
Yeah.
you guys are supporting the scene, and I'm happy to support those who support the scene. So no, great work.
So, yeah,
And
cheers.
a quick shout out to our producer for tonight, Miles, the hype man,
He kept his shirt on, actually.
Woodgate.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you, brother.
We'll see about tomorrow.
He's been on the levels. He's been taking care of the cameras and showing us
Yeah.
how long we've been going
it's
for.
probably
So,
over a
yeah,
little bit of an
appreciate it,
hour.
brother.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so if you are watching this one, the next one we roll out, we'll have the original Hollywood high risk Casey Tolcher on there.
Big dog.
Which he's sitting behind the
He's
camera.
right
so
here.
we're all looking at it now. He's staying here for the weekend. He's going to Fridays tomorrow.
Yep.
So he'll be the next guest on, which will be great to have a chat to him. And then we'll roll on. Yeah, I think that'll get us basically through January, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hope you liked it.
Legends.
Yeah, we'll talk to you next time.
Legends.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Gotcha.
All right.